Yo, Pierre, there's this girl I'm into, but I can't talk to her for the life of me. Oh, she makes you nervous. All right, make sure to do these 3 things so that she falls for you. I'm gonna save this and write this down. Number 1, get her to talk about herself, specifically something that she's interested in. And I just listen? Exactly. Ask her about her favorite show, why she decided to wear the shoes she's wearing, anything about her. Make her talk about herself. What else? You have to use AI to your advantage. This girl is real this time. That's not what I'm saying. There's this app called Critique AI that gives you a scenario. For example, ask the girl you're into about her favorite show and try to relate to it. You practice speaking to it, it'll rate how you did and give you active feedback. That's a cheat code. I'll get so much better at talking. I'm downloading Critique AI right now. Yeah, and lastly, you have to cross that line from being the good friend that you are to something more than that. So do I ask her on a date? Any one-on-one time, because you're probably seeing her at work, at school, in public, but you gotta be one-on-one. Okay, how do I do that? If she's been working out, go to the gym with her. If she's competitive, go bowling. If she likes games, tell
Voglio vivere così.
Porotal Comen îmbrățișează viața.
Mama mea e super. Știe toate poveștile.
Few things that you can do to improve your aim. The first thing you're gonna do you suck at Minecraft PvP? Or do you log on to a practice server just to get absolutely destroyed by the most sweatiest Minecraft player of all time? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you all the Minecraft PvP tips that you're going to need to know so that way this does not happen again. This video will be broken into 5 different sections: settings, aim, technique, movement, and skills. Your true potential shines through good Minecraft settings, so I recommend that you check out my mods and settings video and set up your Minecraft so you can get perfect PvP settings. But for right now, I'll show you a few settings that you can change. Like your FOV matters a lot. I usually keep it at 95 and I'd recommend doing that. But anywhere between 90 and 100 is good for people. PvP. Another thing you're going to want to change is your keybinds. You're going to want to make sure that that your hotbar slots are all accessible without having to move your left hand from the WASD cluster. So for me, I have my X at 6, C at 7, 8 at V, and 9 at F. These are pretty good keybinds and I got used to them pretty quickly. Also, to swap items with offhand, I have that as R. You're also gonna wanna make sure that your toggle perspective is at a reachable button. For me, I just have it at my side button, but you know, whatever keybinds works for you is completely fine. And while we're here at the controls, you're gonna wanna make sure that sprint is at toggle and auto jump is off. So now for our last setting, you're gonna go to accessibility settings and you're gonna make sure that view bobbing is off. You're gonna make sure that FOV effects is off and damage tilt is also off. Having these settings off is going to improve your aim by a lot. Having good aim is very important for PvP. Without aim, it's basically impossible to kill your opponent. And I'm gonna show you a few things that you can do to improve your aim. The first thing you're gonna do is disable this setting that's on your PC. So navigate to your Windows settings. However you get there is completely fine. And you're gonna search up mouse and go to mouse settings. Now in your mouse settings, make sure that enhanced pointer precision is turned off. Go to mouse settings. Now in your mouse settings, make sure that enhanced pointer precision is turned off. Having this setting turned on is going to completely kill your aim. It might feel weird at first if it's your first time turning it off, but trust me, once you get used to it, your aim is going to be 100 times better. Next, you're going to want to come to this website. I'll leave the link in the description. You're going to enter your Minecraft sensitivity, which you can find in your controls, which for me is 41. So once you enter it and press start, you're gonna get a low and a high. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go back to Minecraft and basically you're gonna set up something similar to this. I just put an armor stand with netherite armor on it, and you're gonna go back to the sensitivity calculator and try the low sensitivity and the high sensitivity and figure out which one was easier to track with. So for me, my low sensitivity was 20. So I'm gonna go into my controls and change my sensitivity to 20 and just strafe around the armor stand to see how easy it is to track with. Next, I'm gonna try my high sensitivity, which was 61. And I'm gonna see how this goes. So after running this test, I found that 20 sensitivity was a lot easier to track with. So I'm gonna go back to the sensitivity calculator and select 20. Now it'll give me a different set of sensitivities, and I'm gonna keep on repeating this process until I eventually get a perfect sensitivity for me. You only have to do this 7 times. Improve your frames is by downloading the, which again, I'll leave settings in the description, which I recommend watching because it'll boost your frames by a lot. Now we're gonna get into the basics of PvP. You'll have to understand how to attack your opponent. First, I'll teach you the 3 different types of attacks in Minecraft with a sword. You generally want to avoid sweep hits as they do no extra damage or knockback. A sweep hit happens whenever you attack your opponent at a walking speed, or if you sprint hit them one time and continue hitting them without sprint resetting, which we'll get into later in the video, or if you stand perfectly still and hit your opponent, it'll automatically be a sweep hit. You generally want to avoid sweep hits in most situations. A knockback hit happens when you sprint at your opponent and hit them. Knockback hits have to be one of the most common and effective ways to attack your opponent in Minecraft. To consistently hit a knockback hit, you have to use a method called sprint resetting. With the proper technique, this is what allows you to combo your opponent. But I'll get into that later on in the video. For now, we have our last type of attack. This attack is performed by using the momentum of your fall to hit your opponent on the way down. Although this attack does no extra knockback, it does 50% more damage than a regular hit, making it one of the most powerful hits to shred through your opponent's health. Also, each one of these attacks have their own unique sounds, so playing with sounds on can help you identify which attack you are using on your opponent or which attack your opponent is using on you. Due to the lower attack speed on a sword than an axe, most of the time you want to be attacking your opponent with your sword, as you do more damage per second as compared to an axe. Also, you do not have to fully wait for your attack cooldown. You can attack your opponent with the same effect by attacking them when your attack indicator is filled up 85% of the way, meaning that you can hit your opponent quicker without fully having to wait for the attack indicator to fill up 100% of the way. You also have to understand how to hit your opponent. In Minecraft, we have a default reach of 3 blocks. The way to maximize your reach is by attacking your opponent at eye level. This maximizes your reach because the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. As you can see, if I'm aiming at this armor stand's head and I click, I'm able to hit it. But if I look down at the feet and try to click, I'm not able to hit it. So when you're PvPing, to maximize the amount of reach and to maximize the chances of you getting the first hit, you should always be aiming at the head. Movement is one of the biggest things that separates a decent player from an actual professional. The reason why movement is so important is because it's the way you can control the space between you and your opponent. First, we're going to talk about sprint resetting. There are 2 main ways you can pull this trick off: W tapping and S tapping. W tapping is whenever you tap W after each hit to reset your sprint. This makes it so every hit is a knockback hit. It's not about spamming W, it's more like a rhythm. You hit your opponent, let go of W for a split second, then press it again. Once you get the timing down, it helps you keep combos going and makes it harder for them to hit you back. If you happen to see any sweep hits when you're trying to W tap, just know that you have the timing incorrectly. If you have this problem, remember to follow this order: W, hit, release. If you follow these steps in this exact order, you should not see any sweep hits when you're trying to W tap. S tapping is one of my personal favorite ways of sprint resetting because not only does it give you the benefits of a sprint reset, it also actively creates distance between you and your opponent. S tapping follows the exact same principles as W tapping, but S tapping adds another layer to it. The order of W tapping is W, hit, release, as I mentioned. But with S tapping, it's W, hit, release, S. This creates distance between you and your opponent, which makes it more difficult for them to hit you. This is especially effective when you're fighting players that don't take a consistent form of knockback, such as high ping players. S tapping is a bit harder than W tapping, but if you can learn it, I highly recommend it. Strafing is where the A and D keys come in. By using your A and D keys, you can move side to side. In Minecraft PvP, you can use this as a method to throw off your opponent's aim, making them miss out on many hits, and can lead to you starting a combo on your opponent. The key to success when it comes to strafing is being unpredictable. Being unpredictable in your strafing patterns is what's going to make your enemy miss. And if they can't aim on you, like I said earlier on in the video, you're basically impossible to kill. So mastering strafing is crucial to all aspects of Minecraft PvP. Since strafing relies a lot on being unpredictable, there's no true rules when it comes to strafing. But as you practice more, it'll become muscle memory. Spacing is all about controlling the distance between you and your opponent. Goal we'll go over in a second. Spacing. Now I'm going to teach you some skills that can take your PvP to the next level. And I've got my friend Nightmare to help me demonstrate these skills, so shout out to him. Crit chaining is the best way to drain your opponent's health. You can do this by sprint hitting them one time, and without sprint resetting, hold W and spacebar while critting them out. If you time your jumps and hits right, you can land a crit every single swing. This method is especially effective if your opponent is trying to run away from you. When your opponent lands a crit, you will take vertical knockback. You can use this vertical knockback to land a crit of your own. Use the momentum of your fall to land a crit on your opponent. Another tip, if you're getting crit spammed, stay grounded and punish them with a clean, well-timed hit. Aim at eye level, which in this case will be their body, and when they're in the air, you'll have more reach than them. So getting the first hit will be significantly easier, unless they have high ping. But all you need is a well-timed hit and you can completely disrupt their flow.
Tuse persistentă? Nu aștepta. Vezi ce-i cu ea. Un diagnostic timpuriu îți crește șansa în lupta cu afecțiunile pulmonare. Ai grijă cum respiri. Mergi la medic. Află mai mult.
In a blocky world dominated by being able to switch between slots quickly, it's crucial to have all your slots at your fingertips, and today I'm going to be giving you guys the ultimate guide to Minecraft's keybinds. It's even divided into chapters, so you can find any straight into the video. First of all, let's talk about how your keybinds should be set up. You're going to want to have all your keys next to WASD or ESDF depending on your playstyle. Some of the keys I use are Q, R, F, 1, 2, 3, and ZXC. And as I said earlier, you want to use keys that are easily accessible without moving your hand too far away from your movement keys. While you can use the other number keys, some of them may be too far away for you to reach comfortably. Next of all, let's discuss the best strategy for switching between slots quickly. A pro tip is to use keys that are easiest to hit for slots that you know you'll use the most. Since this tutorial is specific to Minecraft, let's use Mace PvP as an example. You'll likely use your sword, wind charges, and mace a lot for swapping and getting into the air, so those are some slots you're going to want to keep on hand. Something also to keep in mind is that you won't instantly reach keys instinctively, and it will take some practice. An honorable mention is that you might have a mouse with 2 side buttons, and you can actually assign each of these to a slot and make them easily accessible so you can swap to items with incredible ease. But another button that's also easily accessible is the subscribe button, so if you're enjoying so far, feel free to hit it, and maybe even leave a like. But where would we be without explaining a technique that even the best esports players use? As you might have heard, there's a method to success called keyboard angling. Keyboard angling is simply when you tilt your keyboard to where some keys are in much closer reach than before. This can be especially helpful.
The scroll wheel sucks. For any Minecraft PvP game mode where you need to use multiple items quickly and on demand, the scroll wheel is not going to cut it. This is why you need keybinds. Just clicking a single button to get your desired item is a huge advantage over having to scroll all the way across your hotbar. It's less input and thought required, and with fast-paced decision making and reactions needed in game modes like UHC, Crystal, and Cart, good hotkeys are practically mandatory. So then what keys should you use for your hotbar slots? I'm Theobald, a pro Minecraft PvP coach, and I'm going to teach you how to speed up your gameplay with optimal controls. If this video helps you or if you learned something new, consider subscribing. And if you want one-on-one PvP coaching in any game mode, check out my Fiverr. Link is in the description. There are 2 things you should prioritize when choosing keybinds: proximity to your hand and the number of fingers you're able to use. The first one is obvious. It's not very practical to use keys that are far away from your hand, but let me explain what I mean by using multiple fingers. For example, let's say I'm playing UHC and trying to disable this guy's shield. Swapping between my sword and axe on 1 and 2 is clunky and slow, since I'm limited by the speed of 1 finger. But if I change my slots to 1 and 3, I can leave my fingers on the respective buttons and swap as fast as I want, allowing me to consistently use the cooldown trick and disable shields faster. Another example where this is useful is with refilling totems. Instead of having to click E and then reach over to F with my same finger and then go all the way back, I have my offhand key bound to Q, which allows me to free up my pointer finger. By binding my hotbar totem to R, I can refill both almost simultaneously because again, I'm not relying on 1 finger. For creating your own keybinds that are comfortable to use, I'd recommend keeping 1, 2, 3, and 4 as default. If you're comfortable reaching to 5 without moving your hand, keep that the same as well. But for the rest of the slots, binding to other keys is going to be better. Some good keys to use are X, C, R, Z, tilde, tab, and especially side mouse buttons if you have them. If you're comfortable using your thumb for hotkeys, you can also use left alt, V, B, and N. Q is also a very easy and convenient button to use. Easy and convenient button to use. Since dropping items isn't typically as important as changing slots, you can rebind drop to something else like G, and then use Q as a high priority keybind. One more keyboard layout worth mentioning is ESDF, where instead of having your movement on WASD, it's shifted over one key to ESDF. This way you have even more keys on the left side of your keyboard to press with your pinky and ring finger. This control setup is very easy to adjust to and genuinely really good, so it's worth at least giving a try if you haven't already. Once you have good keybinds that you like, it's a good idea to organize your hotbar around them. Just like in the earlier examples, you want to use different fingers for the items you need to switch between quickly, like sword and axe, obby and crystal, anchor and glowstone, and rail and cart. Here are my keybinds, and here's my hotbar arrangements for different game modes. Feel free to pause the video and try out my settings, or just use it as inspiration for making your own.